Hey guys, welcome to the show. I was running late, so I'm just starting now. Here comes the countdown. All right, guys. Oh, well, wrong one. Here, me. Unmute you. Hi guys, how are you doing? I got a breakdown and I know I'm pursuing and then I'm running around and feeling my day like I am gonna make it and I'm feeling my pain. I made the bright shiny day stuck in my rain. I maintain the games lyrically, I'm a little insane. Sometimes I gotta do it cause I'm running that way. They did it right, they did it wrong, but they saying hey, what's your name, Jay? I don't even get what you do. Man, I'm ill, man, only if I'm waiting for you. I got it right cause I'm wrong when I'm waiting for the crew. I'm looking for the thing like I'm waiting for you, and oh no. What am I saying with the photo? Let go. Looking for my people like I don't know. Oh no. What am I saying if I sell so? Now I gotta stay like this and it's still toe. Ha ha. And now I rip rhymes. Yeah, yeah. I do it all the time. And then I'm getting because my life is on the chime when I gotta be something, but now I'm wondering why. I'm gonna lose my mind, fine, fine. Only if I still can't define rhymes. Wondering why, what am I trying? Only if I couldn't make it down, and now I'm just flying high to the sky, dude. Sometimes I'm waiting, dude. I'll be looking, cause I'm really gonna fake 'em who, when and where. Must have stared, cause I'm standing there. They were looking like, ooh, it's all clear. Yeah, I rip it, and yeah, I flow. Yeah, I dream what I'm doing if I know when. Sometimes I go when I'm out of control and they like I don't know what you don't know, bro. Now I gotta be the best only if I'm running around in my heart and chest and I'm blessed only if I can't break it right through. You could wait it for the things. This is what we do.
Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you.
Sorry, baby. My daughter is coming in. Oh, yay. Yay, yay, yay.
There's an intro for you.
I know, I know. Well, you can if you were listening to the rap. I'm slowly like sounding like I was bored. It's because I'm like trying to do 10,000 things at one time. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should get AI to do this for me. Oh well, hi. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Oh man, I'm so appreciative to have you. This is the point where we're gonna do headlines of the week. So I need you to tell me just a one sentence answer, something amazing that happened to you. It could be this week, it could be last week. It doesn't matter. But I'll start. My headline of the week is oh, you think I'd have something good? Oh,
You
Sesame.
always have something good.
Mine is did I say this already? No, I don't think I said this. Wait, I did say this. All right, I said that one last week. Let's see what else is good that happened. um, let me think. I'm going fast. We'll just say me and Spider-Man are killing it. That's what I got, and it's probably gonna change because I really don't have anything. So
Okay. All right. I disappointed my landlord.
nice, nice. Well, you're not gonna give me time to think about it. So, my son all week he is a big fan. If you look behind me you'll see the Into the Spider-Verse poster. We also have the Cross the Spider-Verse poster, and we've watched every Spider-Man movie, and the new Spider-Man movie comes out on next week or next Friday or this Friday. And so he's excited to go see that. And now I have to like think and live Spider-Man every day of my life at this point.
Could be worse. Could be
Yeah.
worse. I mean, at
No,
least he, you know, Oscar the Grouch or something. That's a totally
yeah,
different feel.
he's liked weirder things, so I'm not against it. It's just one of those things. One of those things where like I like this. I'm not bad. I'm not mad about this situation. But I would rather not worry about it.
Yeah.
Um, but
Spider-Man was always my favorite superhero as a kid. Wait, I don't know if you remember underoos.
I
And
do.
for all your listeners out there that don't know what underoos are, imagine themed underwear that when you would wear it, it had the pattern and the print and the colors of superheroes. And I was Spider Man, and I would run around the house as a kid in my underwear, pretending to be Spider Man. Here's the thing that I have with Spider Man that's kind of sad is he's not growing up at the same rate that I am. You know, he's still that high school kid. I'm like, no, man, you're
Sh-
supposed to be like 50 years old now because that's who
sure,
I am.
sure. Think about this. Would you want to see 50-year-old Spider-Man? You you
Yeah,
live 50-year-old Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like your knees all jacked. Like this is me. I can barely walk because my knees jacked right now. Imagine Spider-Man trying to
yeah,
chase somebody. His knee pops out of socket, and he's like,
yeah.
"Oh,
Oh, he starts
yeah,
delegating. That's what he does. You know, he has like little mini me Spider-Mans that do all the work, but he's still there doing the organization. So as adults, we feel legitimized in our superhero ness.
Did you ever see Batman Beyond?
I probably did.
I think
Um,
it's that one or like yeah, that one's where Batman is like yeah, he's just letting other people do the work for him.
ah, yeah. Well, it's kind of cool seeing Michael Keaton back on the show, and again, that legitimizes that superheroes do get older. It's kind of exciting because
Ooh,
I hate feeling old, and yet here we are every
I,
day.
I know. I'm like, well, as I sell vintage toys, they're not vintage toys to me. They're just toys I had as a kid.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I remember when I was a kid, it's like, oh yeah, those tin toys or whatever the situation. Now I'm like just selling GI Joes, and I'm like, oh, that
Yeah.
was I had tons of these. I blew them up. I should have
Yeah.
not
With
done that.
firecrackers and magnifying glasses and melting their heads
Yeah.
off. Oh, yeah. Good
Yeah, I
times.
know. But now they're worth like, $500. I have a backpack that's worth like $65 or something.
Wow.
And it's just a rocket back. It's just a little backpack. It's so
Just
funny.
backpacks. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's to know?
All
Makes
right,
you look
so
around now and say, what do I have right now that's going to be worth something in 20 years?
well, I don't think that the things that we have now are going to do the same because they're also a lot less. They're a lot cheaperly made, right? So it's like a lot of those things are just going to disappear as we go,
Yeah. They just fall apart, become trash.
and so
Yeah. It seems to be the culture anymore, at least in the US, is that real quick fix to entertainment, but there's no deep down investment of quality or lastingness or even a physicality invested in the exercise of entertainment. It's like this flash pan entertainment that comes and we're entertained for about 10 seconds and then it goes away and is gone.
yeah, I mean, like a podcast.
A little bit of that. That's
Yeah,
sort of the culture, exactly.
yeah.
Podcasting and even Instagramming and
Mhm.
all the YouTubing and what's the big TikTok?
Yeah, well, it's even
Man,
like it's funny. Like it's we were doing this a lot earlier than everybody else when we were playing D&D because you
yeah,
get your weekly fix of just like quick like fantasy, live the thing, and then it could be a whole different thing the next week. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you never
yeah,
know, and
absolutely.
so it's like
Yet there's a vital difference to D&D, and I think that's why it has so much value. Is that you are physically invested in the entertainment. You're
that's
not
true.
just a
You're not being
recipient.
entertaining. You're actually a part of the entertainment.
That's right, right. And I
Yeah.
think that's a vital difference between being a recipient of flash pan entertainment and you don't walk away any better versus being an active ingredient to the entertainment. You learn something and you provide something for others. So I think it's an infinite different experience. Yeah, there's my
Well, then
soapbox.
there you go. You are totally correct. I was thinking. I guess I was. Yeah. No. Now I don't know what I was thinking. So. That's a fair fight. Well, I was just thinking about like how that's such a quick made entertainment thing now, like with the D&D podcast and all those
Yeah,
things.
there is that. Yeah.
And so that's what I was thinking when I say that. But then you're right. When you're actually there creating the thing, it's not like it's yeah, you're invested in it, you're helping the thing. All right, well, so tell me about your headline here.
So
You
my
let down your
headline, yeah,
landlord.
the I disappointed my landlord. He actually it's a married couple, but he approached Brenda and I about a month ago saying that the suite next door to Night Watch Games is now being opened up. And he handpicked us out of all the tenants in the shopping strip and said he wanted us to occupy that space. And he was asking if we had any cool ideas of what to do with about 4,500 square feet. And I've got tons of ideas of what to do with that. The problem is I don't have the money or the capital to just start up a whole new business from the ground up. So he and I started talking about how things are going at Night Watch and the sanctuary, and I showed him, the growth that we've had over the past 4 or 5 years, and it's really exciting to see where we are. But the end result is I told him I was just not in a place, not only financially, it's a huge expenditure to start a whole business, but the emotional and time that you have to invest. And we're pretty stretched thin here between the two stores here. And we just started our scullery. I guess the scullery is about a year old now.
Yeah.
And that's our cafe. So that's almost like a third business. So I think we're pretty much maxed out as far as how we're going to expand, unless we get some type of partner or something that wants to come in and take a piece of this and do something on their own. But that's going to be a hard thing to find too. Somebody that thinks and feels like Brenda and I do. We're pretty odd.
Yeah, it's funny. You already have my brain going now that you've said that. So, anyways, I've met these guys in Austin at South by Southwest, and they do this thing called Rec Philly. And what it is, it's a full building that is a recording studio, a stage, and pretty much everything to prepare somebody to be in the music industry. And so they have like a full studio thing like that. And so and they pay membership. People pay memberships to use these things. It's not hourly, so they just pay your monthly rate of $100. They can come in and use the studio by putting the appointments in. Stage, they'll have performances every week. Then they'll have like other things in the building. It's a really cool idea. But now as you're talking, I'm like, and what me and you were mentioning earlier, like like when we were talking about the picture thing. It's like that. Anyways, but sorry, just made me think of that right when you.
They do have something like that in San Antonio. It's called Geekdom, and it's really a IT centric game creation, technology creation, sometimes mechanical creation. But it's a facility that has all those building blocks to it. So you have a workroom and a lathe and a CNC machine and a 3D printer, and all this stuff is available to you for a nominal fee. And then one of the other things that they really give as value is there's a whole bunch of creative people that revolve around that place. And so if you're really looking for sparks of inspiration, you just hang out at Geekdom for a while and start conversations, and people, keep you motivated and stuff. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool. I always thought that was just a work office place. That's cool. I didn't realize it was all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of creative juices going on.
That's awesome. Yeah, but no, I was just had me think about that. No, I was thinking like more role playing wise, like you create your own character, do all the stuff, build like a room that did all those things. Anyway, sorry, just what you need is a business that just runs on robots.
One day.
I always wanted to make a pizza place that was just like a robot pizza place. So you put your order into the robot, and the robot then you watch the robot make your pizza. But it's like a full place, not like not a vending machine, but like a real thing.
Yeah,
with the full
that's a perfect name, Robot Pizza.
Yeah,
isn't that a name of a show already? Like a cartoon show, Robot Pizza.
I know. Robot Chicken is what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. Robot Chicken. Well, you could start a whole franchise. Robots that make chicken sandwiches too.
This might make this bit quicker. Now that I think of it, can you share your screen? Look on this thing, see if you can share your screen.
Yeah.
Is there a button? It says it would be present. Do you see present down there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah. Now, are you we were mentioning earlier about Midjourney and that kind of thing?
Yeah, sure.
Are you able to do that yourself and present it?
I think so.
All right, cool. Well, no, the reason is because then I can do mine and you can do yours, and then we're not
okay.
we're not waiting. You're not waiting on me to do it, and I'm not waiting on you. We're doing it our separates.
Okay.
So, do you like the idea? So, all right, here's my bit that we're gonna do today, and I wish I had a thing. We're just gonna call it. I don't have a thing for it, so. But the bit we're gonna do today is motivational. Oh wait, should it be something other than motivational posters? It's gonna be some kind of poster. What's the poster gonna be about?
Let's do let's do hmm. We need a theme for the show. Like something that we're gonna revolve around. What's our
So
theme?
when I created the name for the show, it's make games, play games, and live games.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
how about a game?
Okay. Yeah. A
A
game.
gaming poster. So you just got all right, here we go. Me and you, we just got a cardboard cutout section at Night Watch Games, and this is my cardboard cutout that gets come out, or your cardboard cutout. What do you think? You
Okay.
like that?
All right. The cardboard cutout of a game.
Yeah. I don't know how that's gonna look. So
Let's find out. I
yeah.
need to log into Discord now.
I know. I apologize. I'm doing this now. All right. So we'll start. My game is going to be. Let's see. Can I just? I'm just going to steal your game before you have a chance to do it.
Oh, you're gonna steal me. All right.
I'm just
All
going to
right.
do Gauntlets of Glory while I'm
Okay.
here. No, I'm
You
just
got
playing.
it. I got multiple games, so I can one up you.
We'll see. And then I'm thinking I have to do it in your. Should we do it in that rain fountain, or just any kind of game? What do you think?
Let's do a tabletop game. It has to be a tabletop game. The word game seems to mean lots of different things in today's culture, and
Okay.
generally, when you say I play games, they immediately think video games or console games. So I'm constantly having to say tabletop games or board games. That's my world.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. So what we got to do right now is we got to make a tabletop game cutout or a poster, whatever the Discord will help us make, or Mid Journey will help us make. And then what's gonna happen is as I say it, I'm gonna I'm gonna type something in. But right now he's going to be doing the same thing. He's gonna be coming up with ideas, and then he'll explain what it is. But we'll start with me just because there's no. You could actually be doing yours right now if you hadn't
Okay,
already thought
yeah.
about that.
I'm trying to jam
So
it
it's
out.
ready. So, mine I'm just gonna talk because I can't. I'm not that smart. Do both things. Mine's gonna be a tabletop game, and it's called Contractor Wars. And what it is that you have separate contractors that are fighting for businesses. But the idea here is like, say you're a lawn mowing company. Instead of marketing, you actually fight the other lawnmower teams to actually get the contract. And then but then as your businesses go up, if you fight like a different contractor, he joins your business, and then you have both those businesses. So then you have a window washing team, and you have a lawn mowing team. And the idea here is to take over the whole board. But you fight, but there's like cool areas like landscaping areas that you have to fight around, and that kind of thing. Little dice rolls. And each team has cool colors, and but yeah, it's contractor wars where contractors fight for services, and your job is to dominate the entire board by destroying all the other contracting teams.
All right. There's
Yeah.
probably some puns there. I'm sure there's some funny puns where you. I can't think of anything at the moment, but like
Yeah.
you thinking of a lawnmower, weed eater, a hedge
Yes.
cutter. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's some.
Yeah. There's tons of stuff there. But that's my game. Luckily for me, I have that in the back burner, so I didn't have to just come up with something super quick. Um, uh,
So I'm going to use my game. My game has been in development for about 3 years now, and it's basically inspired by Call of Duty, the video game, combined with a game that I used to play on the tabletop called Guild Ball. And Guild Ball was sort of a fantasy murder soccer game where you had figures represented on a tabletop, and you were playing sort of like I think it was like rugby on a tabletop, but you were able to beat up and kill and eliminate the other players. So it's like
Nice.
really carnal. And then Call of Duty is that idea of a battle royale. It sort of became a real big thing about 10 years ago. You had Fortnite, PUBG, and Call of Duty all started this new game mode where you were teleported or transported into a battlefield under equipped and under armored. And so you didn't have a lot of capability to you. So you had to run around and you had to scavenge your tools, your weapons, and your armor, and all the things that you needed to survive against 60 plus other players that were occupying the same scenario at the same time. And if you came across each other, you were expected really to shoot it out and kill each other. And so the end result of the game was the last person surviving. And to force players to interact with each other, the battlefield got smaller and smaller over time. So there was no like safe place to just kind of hide out and camp, which is what I tend to do in video games. I just find some little corner and go prone and look down my sight, waiting for somebody to walk in front of me. So my game, Gauntlets of Glory, is that concept of a battle royale mixed with the flavor of Guild Ball, and then very tropey, high fantasy parameters like race and class, and all the weapons are medieval weapons, and there's magic and spells, and you have the epic center of fireball and the omnipresent lightning bolts and big swords and all that kind of stuff. And so that's my game. I've been working on that for about 3 years, and we're just about to go to Kickstarter later this year.
Nice. That is awesome. Were you able to come up with some stuff so far? Or
yeah,
still working on it? You can go because I'm still typing. So
it's interesting. So I, Scout and I have been talking about the whole idea of AI and art generation, and how it's obvious on one hand it's sort of very threatening to creatives like Scout and I and Trey as well, where we're trying to make something using our creative inspirations that entertain and elevate our audience, right? But computers are really able to do a lot of this stuff well, and it's scary to see that almost our whole purpose of living is now being threatened by artificial intelligence. And so the exercise here is to see if the Midjourney AI bot can generate a cool image of a cutout for the game that we just described. And I'm going to go with what it made.
okay.
So I'm going to share my screen. Tell me if this works.
Yes.
Bam. Entire screen. Share. All right. What do you see?
Nothing.
Nothing yet.
Oh, so no. Here you go. I got it.
There it is. Okay. So that's my screen. I got a really big monitor. I'm super proud of it. So Chat GPT is over here on the right, and it made these interesting scenes that very much look like a tabletop board game, but it's got a bunch of 3D terrain, sort of like a little battlefield that you can run around, and I guess you're supposed to attack each other.
Oh, yours is better than mine.
What was my prompt? My prompt was fantasy battle royale tabletop skirmish game cutout. And that's what I came up with.
Mine worked out pretty good. It looks like this already exists in real life, so that helps my cause, I think. All right, let's see. See if you can get pick the one you like the most, and see if you can get one final image, and then send it to me, and I'll put it on the thing.
Sounds
so
good.
We can see it. Now here's mine. I did the same thing, and it looks pretty good. Let me see if I can get myself having the same thing. Yeah, that's the joys of having three. I have three screens, so mine doesn't freak out
Individuals.
as much as a giant
Yeah.
screen. Um, mine is going to be this right here. Let's see here. We're going to pull it up and new ones. Oh, I just had it and then I lost it. It's gone.
I think it's amazing. I'm having this weird existential moment right now where we're on a video podcast. You and I are in totally separate places, and yet we're able to communicate not only audibly, but with visuals. And we're able to share the visuals of the computer that we're on.
Oh yeah, it's
And
cool.
we're able to share that with a whole audience out in the world all at the same time. That's just my mind's getting blown right now.
That's yeah. No, well, and then we're not even that far from each other either. That's the other funny part about it.
Yeah.
Um,
But
let's,
here's my whole theory about AI, and you sort of tapped into it, the fact that you and I are not that far apart, and yet we're relying on technology to connect, right?
yeah, totally.
There was a day where I'd get on my bicycle and I'd ride over to your house and I would park that bicycle in your front lawn and knock on your door and say, "Hey, can Scout come out and play?" And that took a physical investment of me into you being with you, right? I had to actually bike to get to you. And then we get older and we get cars and it becomes a little easier. But even now, I don't even have to do that. I can just sit at my computer and get all lazy and say, "Oh, I'm going to talk to Scout." And I don't have to do much. So
That's
that's the bad side. And that's the other thing about AI is to create something cool, we don't have to do much. And so I think as a human being, as a human race, we're just going to degenerate into like just lamos, and we're going to expect computers to do it all for us.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
I hope
Yeah.
I don't become a lameo. I don't even know. I don't even know why you said that. Now I'm sad. I'm
Well,
sad,
we have
lameo.
to we have to rail against the technology at sometimes. Sometimes we have to just get up, get on our bicycle, and ride over to the other dude's house and knock on the door and say, "Hey, I'm here because of you, and I'm investing physically for you." And we just, stay real that way.
Yeah, no, and I think that's important, and that's the point of this game is so we can talk about this and do something at the same time. And it's like, yeah, no, Pork was saying the same thing to me about the idea of like at some point there's gonna have a robot that can just freestyle better than me, and it's true. I mean, it's definitely a thing that can happen. I just need to own the rights to it, and then it'll work out. For me, but I think that that's the trick is like we are getting to the point where that's going to be a thing, and it's like I hope that yeah, honestly, it's just going to bring us to like there's this. Did you ever see the TV show Dollhouse?
No.
It was a Josh Whedon show before Josh Whedon was no longer cool, and it was about like pretty much these people that they could wipe their brains and give them different jobs, but it was like people would hire them as girlfriends pretty much, and that was how it worked. Like you could get somebody that either had all the memories of your old ex-wife or your old wife before she passed, or you got somebody that was a martial arts expert, whatever. And it's like this, and that's what it is. It's like this girl trying to figure out the thing. But then the last few episodes is totally different. It's just where that AI has taken over the world and now everybody's fighting
Oh
it.
my gosh.
It's like, wait,
Uh,
what? It was one of my favorite twists in a show because it was like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen.
that escalated.
Yeah, no, and it's like you didn't expect it to happen, and then just I ruined it for anybody that wants to see that show. So I apologize. I've totally ruined it for you, but for my point, I needed to bring that up, and so people would know. Let's see here, and we're gonna go. All right, so here's mine.
Oh,
There you
yours
go.
looks, yeah.
So there you go. There's my contractor's
Oh,
board.
look at that.
Guy on a scooter. You got all kinds of. This looks like a very fun game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so
Yeah.
imagine you just AI generated this image. And then
Yeah.
you take that image, you're like, okay, I'm going to assign values to, look at that. Holy shit.
So, and, if I'm going to be honest with you, what I did is I took my idea, I threw it into ChatGPT, and then I took the ChatGPT and then put it in the Midjourney, and I got all this.
Oh my God. See, that's scary.
It is totally scary. And it's one of those things where it's like, why are we doing this? Like, it's like so not awesome. But it makes sense. It's going to move forward with things,
Yeah. There's no stopping it. And as Gary Vaynerchuk would say, and anybody that has 2 cents to their head, they would say, it doesn't make sense complaining about the inevitable. You can shake your fist at the future and say, oh, this is not the way it's supposed to be, blah blah blah, this is so upsetting, but you're not going to stop it. And so I think a smarter person would acknowledge that this isn't the way we would want it to go, but it is the way it is going to go. And the only thing that you can change is not it, but you can change what you do. And so the smart people, the successful people, know how to pivot about this inevitable development. And that's the hard part is, what do we do? What do we do? I mean, AI is not going to go anywhere, and it's only going to get more intrusive. What do we do? And that's where the smart people separate themselves from the others, is they somehow take advantage of it. And not that taking advantage of it is bad. It's just that you are then riding the wave of evolution in our world instead of fighting against the tide and swimming upstream the whole time. That's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way. Now, it's funny because I've been working on this project for a long time, and I realize now that we're at a point where technology could actually do the thing that I've created, but in
Yeah.
real life, like,
Yeah.
because this I'm not going to say out loud because you just made me think about this, and I think it's actually possible to make the thing that I've been working on all autonomous without me, which would be crazy.
Yeah.
And it scares me, but again, if it's my image and my voice, then at least I control that, right? Like, it's a good example is like one of the cool things about Star Wars or different thing is that this last TV show that they did with Darth Vader in it, that actually wasn't oh man, what's the
James Earl Jones?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he pretty much sold his voice likeness, and somehow gets paid. He retired voice acting, and he gets paid by he doesn't even do anything. They just send him a check.
Yeah.
And somebody else does all of the stuff because all of his years of stuff. And it's like, but that's where we're at. We're at a place where that's going to be a thing. Or
I
like
have to
those.
admit, I'm using that stuff myself right now for my game.
Yeah.
Is I think they call it what do they call it? Celebrity voiceovers. And you talk into a microphone and it records your audio file, but then it converts your audio file into the tones that you would associate with a celebrity. And James Earl Jones is one of them. Another one is Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, Tony Stark, or Robert Downey Jr., and then a bunch of female ones as well. And so you can actually have audio in your promotion. Like, let's say that you're going to do a Flow4u promotion, and you had 50 Cent doing your audio promoting your show, but it's not 50 Cent. It's just this AI generated voice that sounds like him, but it's your words.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I when I was messing around with Midjourney, I saw, or it was just like that Joe Rogan where they did a entire podcast of Joe Rogan as a commercial for another thing. And yeah,
Joe wasn't around at all.
No, and was not happy about it.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, that's that threat, right? That's the threat of, where is my legitimacy as a creator, and you start feeling very unneeded. So yeah, somehow we have to monetize or own the originality of, say, Joe Rogan's voice. He has to own that and somehow copyright his own voice so that if somebody replicates it through AI, he gets some kind of value out of it
Yeah.
because it's definitely his, right? You can't rob the man of his own voice.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I think it's so crazy. Well, especially as somebody that literally that's what I do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's scary, and the trick is the more content you put out there, the more easy it is to do it. You know what I'm saying?
that's right. That's
It's
true.
like luckily for me, there's obviously an easy way they can do this. I've been doing this show every week for 3 years, so you have an hour of me talking. You can still, and then including all of my music videos and music that I've done throughout the years. There's lots of audio archives of my voice, which is not cool. But I don't imagine anybody making a Jason IE robot anytime soon. Um, but maybe.
Ooh, throw down the gauntlet. It might happen.
I know. Please, please don't do that. Oh, we got Mr. Game and Wall on here. What's up, Mr. Game Wall? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, we have
Uh,
comments.
yeah, he has a show called I Screen You Scream for Movies podcast that I'll be on
Oh,
in
okay.
the next 2 weeks, where we're actually going to watch the new Transformers movie. So
Excellent.
I'm excited about that. Have I have not been a fan of the previous few, though Bumblebee was awesome. So we'll see how it goes. I can't wait to have that on the show for him in a few weeks. So yeah, Trey is missing. He is probably on a beach somewhere having a great time, or hopefully he's actually like doing a show where he's like making crazy money DJing.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
Memorial Day,
yeah,
so he probably got tapped to entertain people. But he could just get AI to do it for him, and he should join us here.
yeah. Well, especially DJing. DJ would be
Oh
easily
yeah,
replaced by
sure.
AI. You put your favorite things, and then it says all the different things you can do. It's one of those things. Just like, oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Is to see where it goes. Now let's get off that. We've spent 30 minutes talking about this. We should probably talk more. Luckily, you were able to you also slyly promoted your game already. So how's that going? How's you're about to do
Yeah.
Kickstarter? How's that?
So just to get the listeners back up to speed of what we're talking about, I made this board game. It's called Gauntlets of Glory, and it's a tabletop skirmish game that really focuses on a battle royale schematic. So think Call of Duty with elves and dwarves and swords and weapons, but it's on a tabletop, and so you have miniatures that represent your character, and you run around and you try to eliminate your opposition and be the last person standing. That's really the idea of it. In that regard, it's nothing new. There's been games that do that really well for years now. But I brought a couple of things new to the table. One is the character generation. You know what? I have the game right behind me. Let
Yeah,
me let me pull it out of my bag.
do it. Now, right now, you're going to get to see an exclusive peek at
Yeah.
Gauntlets of Glory, which not many people see it unless you're on Porik's Facebook page. Then you've seen it. But
Well, if you come to the store, if you come to Night Watch Games, I am very willing to set the game up and play it because I'm always looking for feedback to see if there's something that I need to fix. And oh, here we are. Here we
see,
are.
don't test me because that sounds fun. I have to bring somebody else so that we can get some content on that. Me rapping about it or something.
So here is that's the rule book. That's going to be
Nice,
kind of
very
shiny there.
glossy. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Um, so interesting enough, not to keep harping on AI, but we also have these technologies like 3D printing and paper printing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
In between all of those assets, it's kind of easy to make a game because you can 3D your own components, you can print out your own artwork, you plaster the artwork onto your component, and
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's like I remember when I was first making CDs, I had a CD printer. I was at the Goodwill and I saw the CD printer where you can print your own labels on it. I was like, I definitely did that. It's like I
Yeah,
remember building these things, and now, like at the point of my last album, I was able to just send it in, and it was printed out in like a day,
yeah,
via a computer that never even saw a person's hands.
yeah,
It's crazy, and
yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah,
Obviously, the good side is for creative people like us, we can really get our creation onto an audience rapidly. We don't have to
mhm.
worry about all sorts of red tape and publishing and all sorts of other things. We can sort of just get it out there real fast, and so that's kind of cool. The problem is that creative process is now in the hands of the masses, and we're experiencing the same thing that the human race did back when books were invented, and that is there's no editorial filter. Anybody can make anything, and it's quote just as legitimate as people making good creations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was
There's just a lot of crap out there now.
my video game version of this is like when Atari, when they finally lost a lawsuit that said that they could be the only people that created the games, and then once other people could record or create Atari games, you end up having, like, if you were to look back at the numbers of games on Atari, it is insane because it was so big, and then people are just putting out trash,
Yeah,
um, just because they could, and it's
yeah,
like because everybody was like, "Oh, it's the new game, let me buy it." You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Without any kind of filter.
I
Um,
think that's the thing that we need to do as consumers is we need to demand quality, and we should not pay for bad crap. We should just not pay for it and let those people fall off to the wayside so that we really support quality products with our money so that the bad products just go away.
well, and I think that kind of, you saw that kind of happening for a little bit with Kickstarter, right? Like where it was like
Yes.
people putting their
Yes.
money where it is. And if I'll be honest with you, I find Kickstarter tabletop games, they make me lots of money on, because somebody will just never open them and they'll just donate them to Goodwill, and then I could sell it for $40.
Easily. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or if it's an even smaller one, there was this one that I sold for crazy money, and it was just a special edition Kickstarter one.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Still, the older games work out even better than that.
Yeah.
But it is crazy how it works.
Well,
So
that's the challenge that I'm up against is I wanted to use Kickstarter to fund my game, but I'm always looking in the mirror saying, am I just another one of those guys that's trying to make a cheap buck off of a cheap product? And I think when I look at myself in the mirror, I convince myself that I'm actually making something quite legitimate here. Um, but hopefully, you guys will, you know, uh, let me know what you think. So here's one of the unique items of the game is you have. Let me make it so it's not so
yeah, that's
glary.
cool.
There we go. So that is the race side of the character. And as you can see, it's got the AI art. That's an orc made by Midjourney, and I'm going to use that for my game, so I get to save some money. But there's a bunch of stats and stuff associated with the orc, and then you have the second half of the character that is your class. And when you put the two together, you get your complete character sheet, and all the stats marry up, and those colored shapes at the top mean something, and the stuff in the middle means stuff. But this is your orc wizard at the moment. And if you wanted to, you can flip the orc and make a whole new character who is a human wizard, and his stats are very different. And if you don't like the idea of a human wizard, you can flip it over and you get a human fighter. And so the character sheets are two-sided. There's two different versions on each side. I have 15 races and 15 classes, so you can mix and match those to, I don't know exactly what the math is, but about 155 variations of character and class. And they're each very unique in what they can do. And so when you build that hero, you represent it with a figure, like a little D&D figure or something, and then you run around the battlefield trying to equip yourself with uh, loot that you find off of previous dead bodies. It's kind of I don't know, kind of morbid actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes more sense than just generating loot. But
Yeah,
yes,
it's been there for a while, and the idea is that you're
it's
in the
from it's from
arena.
you dying last time you
That's
played
right.
the
It's your
game.
body. That was me.
You,
Yeah,
that'd be weird if you like, oh, you just picked up your own weapon.
I
That's
recognize this. Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. The other thing that makes the game unique from all the other skirmish games is the figure itself is going to have a body, and each of its hands are detachable. And there's a whole gamut of hands that have different weapons that they're holding, and there's also interchangeable heads. So your figure can be customized to represent the status of your character at any point in the game. And so as you run around and you pick up, say, a crossbow, you can literally switch your hand so it's representing that you're holding the crossbow instead of what you were holding before. And no matter what two sides that you put together, there'll be a figure that you can represent that shows that combination. So it's sort of, Barbie doll dress up kind of stuff.
That's cool. Um, that that looks really fun, and it's like, what, like from the response that people are giving you so far. What is their feeling about like the gameplay aspect of it, or just like how do they feel after playing it?
Yeah. It's a resounding success. I think to say something without me bragging too much about it is I took the game to Gen Con, which is one of the largest gaming conventions in the States. It used to be run out of a place called Geneva, Wisconsin, and it was sort of the origin of Gary Gygax, which is the main designer of Dungeons and Dragons, and he's passed on, but his convention has lived and is now one of the largest conventions in the world. And I took my game there and I was demoing it to some people, and everything was like really chill and really cool. And then I had some people come by the table and they asked a couple of questions, but they didn't sit down for a demo at all, but they watched other people playing it. And I didn't think much of it. But after 3 or 4 days at the end of the convention, these guys came back by my booth and they gave me an award. I don't think I have the award here in my office, but it was the award that said the best of Gen Con.
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, what is this? And they said, well, our mission for this Gen Con was to find the coolest thing that's being released and to present it. And we're going to cover it in our magazine, which was Gamer Trend magazine. And I said, well, my game's not even published yet. And they said, well, regardless, it's the coolest thing that we've seen all weekend long. So here's the award. So
You're like, I wasn't even trying to do that. I just wanted to
yeah,
see.
yeah. So that was a really cool happen surprise. All the people that have played it have given really positive feedback. It's the kind of game that you can play even though you're not a really competitive skirmish gamer. Like a lot of historical war gamers are really gung ho about the nitnoids and the millimeters of measurement and the accuracy of depiction of color and all this kind of stuff that they really find meaningful. This game is not like that, and it's certainly not like Warhammer, where there are tomes and tomes of rules that you have to reference just to conduct your turn. This is what we would call beer and pretzels kind of skirmish gaming, where you don't worry about the measurement too much. You sort of roll dice to see what happens, and you both celebrate the outcome, even though your character is the one that's getting hit by the fireball. You still think it's kind of cool to see the capability of the fireball. And because there's so many random elements in the game, you can't really point to your opponent and say, "Oh, I'm better than you because I won." He's easily going to say, "Well, yeah, but you found all the right equipment when you were looting the bodies, and the dice rolls were really well." And there's just lots of randomization, so that you always have an excuse for losing. So you can't take it too seriously, but it's a
That's
lot of fun.
nice.
It's a lot of fun.
That's really cool. I said I have not made an excuse to come over there and talk to you about it. So now you're gonna make me do that. I luckily was
Anytime.
I luckily was
Anytime.
allowed to. I got to come by go to the scullery and enjoy delicious food.
Yeah, what'd
Um,
you eat?
I ended up with a sandwich of some sort.
The
Um,
paninis.
yes, I had a panini, and then I had them heat up my chips for me,
Oh, that's
and using the air fryer because that's one of the things I do for myself. So I was like, please do this. This will be delicious. And
heated
so
chips.
yeah, well, because then it feels like they just fried them, but all you do
Yeah.
is stick them in the air fryer for like not even 20 seconds. You can do the microwave too, and then they
Ah.
still have the crunch, and then you have this the thing. So it's fun. But
I might incorporate that into the menu.
I was shocked that you hadn't already done it.
I
Um
I'm gonna have to give that a look. That's cool.
yeah, it's really fun. Like, well, it makes it feel like you have it. Now it has to be the really seasoned ones. You have to do it really quick, or it'll burn the seasoning. But if it's the regular ones, then you don't have any issues with that. So
Okay,
but it's worth a
cool.
try. But anyways, yeah, man, I'm excited about the game. That's really cool. Have you? How's? Oh yeah, so you're gonna be doing you're self publishing, right? With the
Yeah,
Kickstarter and
yeah.
everything.
We're gonna go through Kickstarter. Um, well, I was gonna get the game produced in China because that was going to be the most cost-effective thing. But um, let me tell you some of the craziness that goes into a game production,
Yeah, I'm listening.
especially of this scale. You know, I have miniatures; they're custom-made miniatures. I have a sculptor that's making them, and I paid him $8,000 to make 15 miniatures. And I thought, whoa, that's a lot of money. And he's still working on it. It's been almost a year now, so it's a really slow process unless you have some type of crazy team of people that can do this fast. And then I contacted China and say, okay, I've got these molds of these miniatures and I have these proprietary dice and I have this rule set and these components that I need made. How much would it cost to get this produced? And they said $24,000.
Wow.
That's before I even sell one. That's just to get things ready to be produced.
Wow.
$24,000. And then for every iteration of the game that they make, and they require that they make at least 1,000 of them, that's their minimum, is about $50 to $60. So you multiply that by 1,000.
Wow.
So I got to somehow come up with all that money to just get China to go, okay, let's do this.
Wow.
So it's an amazing amount of money. So when you see games on Kickstarter and they're saying, "Oh, we need to make $10,000 for this game to be produced," you can sort of read between the lines and say, "Okay, a lot of this is going to be very kind of cardboard components that are somewhat simple to make."
Yep.
But if you're looking into custom minis and custom dice, whoo, the cost goes through the roof.
Oh, I bet. Not that this has anything to do with that, but I found a like a Star Wars D&D set. It's like called Star Wars Destiny, but it was an older one, and so it had all custom Star Wars dice, and I'm pretty sure the person just bought them so they could have the dice.
Yes.
But I think I sold it for like $100, and it was like, but it was just the dice. I was like, dude, that'd be dope just to have that dice. And when I'm playing
That's one of the
D&D.
reasons why that game didn't survive is the cost of production for each dice set was too prohibitive. And you couldn't raise the price on the game itself because nobody would buy it at that price point. So it just became unviable, or I think that's the word, unviable. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh yeah, I forget that you would know that. As I was, was it? So it's funny because when I think of your game, I just think of one of the games I played as a kid, which was Battle Masters. Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember that. And that's the feel of the game, exactly that.
But but this was like a full floor mat that
Yeah.
you had like these giant tiles, and
That's
yeah,
awesome.
how much do you think that cost to make, especially at the time?
Yeah.
Oh man! But this is Milton Bradley. Oh, look at that! That's cool.
Wow.
Somebody made like a custom table for it. Oh wow. Okay, all right, I'm done.
Geeking out.
I didn't even look at it when I put it on here because I was like, it just reminded me of it.
Battle Masters. It's sort of the same feel.
Yeah, but it's definitely an upgraded version with nowadays thoughts. While Battle Master, and again, I remember us playing that like in the early '90s, listening to Arrested Development, rolling the dice, and having a fun time. Uh,
Minor
the-
threats.
so it's just so funny how that works, man. I'm excited about. Do you have a plan? Do you have a date yet for the Kickstarter? Or are you still trying to figure that part out?
Yeah, we're pretty optimistic. Maybe December, but some of the people that do Kickstarter repeatedly have advised that December is actually a bad month to release your game on Kickstarter because people's money are actually going to more immediate purchases.
Yep.
And when you buy something on Kickstarter, it's more of a, I sort of don't want to use the word investment because you're not investing, you're funding, which is different, but you're buying something that's going to be delivered to you in the future. And in December, people buy things because they need it right then, usually because it's a gift for Christmas. So December might be a bad month to do it. But I have to admit, I'm getting kind of impatient. I've been sitting on this egg for about 3 years now, and I really think it's going to hatch and be pretty cool. And I'd love to show it with more than one person at a time. Um, One of the other interesting things about my game is to cut cost. I used my customer base as models for the characters in the game. So some of the graphics in the rule book and some of the graphics on the character sheets are people that you would see hanging out at Night Watch Games, and you're like, oh, you're the elf, or oh, if you point to an ugly person, you're like, oh, you're the orc.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, and I feel like I owe something to them to get the game published so that they can see themselves in the game. That's sort of a
Oh.
like a bucket list kind of item. Is like
Do
I'm
you
in a
do
game.
you understand what you just did to yourself? If this becomes a hit smash, then Night Watch Games is not going to be a play area. It's going to be go visit the famous people.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take it. I'm
And
okay with that.
your poor dude playing playing Warhammer. It's like, hey, can I get an autograph, dude?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
But hey, well then you could oh, if it blew up, then you could just get yourself a space close to Night Watch that just exclusively plays that game.
yep,
Gauntlets of Glory,
yeah.
the play area.
And I'll hire the models to play with you, and you can,
Oh,
you pay for that experience.
oh, I bet they would gladly take that job. Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna pay you to just play our game over and all day, and be yourself,
Yep,
dressed up and what you wanted to dress up that one time.
exactly.
And you're gonna get paid more money than normal. So
That's the
that's great. You're welcome. Again,
Yep.
I feel like I just throw those balls
I
giant.
think we're unofficial business partners.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind. I said I've told you this before, but you inspired me to do more stuff even before we knew each other. Like just
Oh, cool.
seeing your build. I remember the first time. Actually, this is funny. First time I ever went to like a gaming thing was at a Geekdom. And I remember
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, that was cool." And then the next time it was at your place, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow, this is a totally different feel." And I said, "I grew up playing Magic or playing Lord of the Rings, L5R, and that kind of stuff."
Yep.
So I
Yep.
went to many game slots, but it never felt like Night Watch, where it feels like you're walking into this environment compared to another table you're going to kick over. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we have a whole business theory about what game stores should be. And unfortunately, the industry, well, the good thing is the industry is blowing up. And so more and more game stores are being generated, and they are raising the bar of what that experience is going to be like for customers. But we're still trying to kick out all those game stores that didn't do it very well, and yet
Yep.
somehow they survived because that was the only alternative consumers had. Um, so yeah, we're leading the charge there. We're doing well. We actually got a really cool review on YouTube. There's a guy by the name of Sam Healy. He's part of the Dice Tower. He was part of the Dice Tower game review YouTube channel, and he rose to popularity. And then he broke off and did some stuff on his own. And now he started his own channel. And one of the first episodes in his own channel was reviewing Night Watch games. And it's a pretty good segment. I have to admit that I'm pretty proud of the pictures that he's showing in the video. And there was a small interview that he did with me, and we touch on the fact that game stores should be more because you guys as gamers deserve it. and you're so passionate about the thing that you love that you should have a space that fortifies that and legitimizes it and empowers you to pursue it even further. And that's what Night Watch Games does.
Yeah. No, that's an amazing part. I was saying it's also in your Star Wars room, the interview, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you've seen it. You've seen it then.
Of course I've seen
Oh,
it.
right on, right on. Cool.
Of course. If you have new stuff, I'm gonna look at it.
Okay.
Seth, I appreciate you're my friend. I'm gonna check out your stuff.
Awesome.
So I always definitely watched it. I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, anytime you're on a podcast, I want to make sure that it's not as good as being on my podcast. So there is the selfishness of it. Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I think you were on a podcast called like Flows something. It was like literally the same. It was freestyle something. It was like,
Yes.
it was literally very close. The name was very close to my name. I'm like, wait, are people just stealing my bits now? No, it was a totally different thing. But I think it was called like Freestyle Podcast or something. And I just
years and years ago,
yeah. But I remember listening to it, going, "Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not as awesome as mine." So,
well, this is number 4 for us, isn't it? Yeah, cool.
Bummer that me and Trey talk about all the time that like anytime we can have you on, we're gonna have you on because we talk nerdy about whatever we want.
Whatever. Yeah, you just go with it.
Bummed out he can't come, but it is Memorial Day, and again, how things are going, I knew that this would probably be the one day you'd be available. So.
Yeah.
Are you very busy on Memorial Day? Are y'all open on Memorial Day?
That's a great question. We normally our Mondays are somewhat quiet, and so we actually have a minimal staff operating the store. And we were worried that maybe Memorial was going to be really popular, and we bolstered up the staff. But I think, as you can hear on your roof, it's raining.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I hear some heavy raindrops on my roof up ahead. So I think that Memorial Day backyard barbecues are a real big bust right now, and the store is doing well. So I'm looking at my security monitors, and there's lots of people here playing.
Well, I bet they were like, well, we're going to go out and do this thing. Well, and imagine, what do you think a gamer's Memorial Day party looks like? Is it just like a bunch of hot dogs and like their Warcraft, their Warhammer stuff to set up? And
Yeah. Well, we find that like armed forces veterans often turn to gaming when they retire. And so I would see that they would hold Memorial Day as a special day for them. And they either embrace gaming as the thing that they do to celebrate Memorial Games, or they totally go the opposite direction and they, go out in the woods and camp or something.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, I had this thing. I had this thing where I found something out and it blew my mind. But then as I talk about it, more and more people go, no, that's normal, which is I had a friend, a friend I grew up with, and he spent over 10 years in prison. And he was telling me that one of his favorite things to do in prison was D&D. And he became and they do daily games of D&D in prison. And wow. It's a normal thing. Like he had to like write up he would write his own maps and do all the things, and the storyboards he would write those things up and set them up, or even copy it from other things so he could have it ready for his D&D game. And I was like, that's crazy. And I was like, oh, well, that'd be a great podcast, like the prison D&D podcast. Just have a bunch of like ex-cons playing D&D. I think that would be funny.
Well, that's a whole job. You could have a dungeon master that actually goes to the prison and he runs the game for a pot of players.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
You can get paid to do that.
Yeah. Even as an outreach, it's cool. Like, it's insane how it works. So it's funny. It's like, even this weekend this last weekend, I went to go see my wife's family, and I just mentioned that, and they were like, no, he was like, I spent years in prison and that's all we did. And, I think I have this, we're just talking anime and D&D the whole time. And it was great. And I was just like, that's crazy. I just didn't, it makes sense because it's a thing that doesn't need a lot of things to make it fun and entertaining. And you have nothing but time in that situation. So it makes sense that you would do it. And I said, I've been a part of prison outreaches where we went out and we just, I've either gone to juvenile detention camps where we actually rap and show them stuff, or I've gone to other ones where they do Bible studies and things,
Yeah.
So it's like I've done
Yeah.
so many different variations of that. I could definitely see that like a prison situation. That
I
would be
could too.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
I'm
crazy
surprised we
idea.
haven't thought of that before. Well, there's a therapeutic nature to role playing games, and you can explore moral choices in a setting that doesn't have real consequences. So you can work through some problems, and some people really project their personal problems through role playing games, and they try to work through their personal issues by seeing what happens around an imaginary setting. But if you could have a counselor that was also trained in dungeon mastering, man, you could make a
Oh,
really cool role playing game that,
role playing therapy.
yeah,
Oh, I
exactly.
I bet you that's a thing. I bet there's a thing out there that does that.
Well, I know that
It-
they do role playing therapy, but in the sense it's role playing
yeah,
modern day situations.
I'm talking about role play D&D therapy. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's good. Anybody else think that's a good idea in the comments? I'm just saying. Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I think
Mm,
that when I heard that, I was shocked, and then it's hilarious as I make it a comment in my life. Then I keep on getting people go, no, I love this is what I did in prison.
yeah.
I got myself together and I played D&D, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. It's like now I go out and I do that thing, and it's like that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's I said I was doing it while you were in prison. I guess I was playing D&D,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
too. So it's so funny how that works. Well,
It
that's really
is.
cool, man. I said you got the game coming out. So oh wait, you didn't actually say it. So are you still thinking December? Or are you thinking you're gonna do a little after that?
I think probably after that would be the real answer. As much as I'd love to get it out soon, I think my sculptor still has 5 more figures to make, and while he does a really great job of it, I have absolutely no complaints about his sculpting. The process itself is really slow, and I went into the whole idea thinking that he could make 15 miniatures in say 5 to 6 months.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one miniature a month, so we're
yeah,
already a year into that, and I've got eight, 8 or 9 figures done. So we still have a road ahead of us to go. And part of me gets impatient, and I'm like, oh, I need to crack the whip and tell this guy to hurry up. And then so he and I have a Zoom meeting. And as soon as he shows up on my camera and says hello, I'm like, oh, what a nice guy. And I don't yell
yeah.
at him at all. I just like, oh, that's nice. Everything's like
All
happy
right.
fuzzy because he's such a cool, nice guy. But I just wish I had my figures.
Yeah, it's and honestly, like yeah, as everybody can figure out, I do lots and lots of things because I am very ADD. But I just had a client where I made them a sock puppet, but I had to actually make it. I made it from scratch, and I made it where it was like a full like its eyes moved and all these things, and it was just a sock puppet.
Uh-huh.
But it was like I was like, oh, I could probably do that. I can make a sock puppet without considering it within 15 minutes, right? But when
Yeah.
you're actually custom making it for somebody, and then you're also like coming up with the idea yourself, like it's like no, it just can't be a googly eyed sock. Like it needed to look like the person, it needed to have the color scheme that he wanted, and it took so much time. I think it took me like I think it took me like 4 months to make this thing, and it was like I was so excited when I got to
Four
give it to him.
months.
It took
Wow.
forever. I was like, because the other problem here is that I would send the picture and he'd be like, no, I want it to have more Google, or I want it to have eyebrows. I want the eyebrows to flex in the wind. And I'm just like, cool, you're the guy paying for this. And so, uh, but it was like,
Here's the good thing, Scout. I don't think AI could make sock puppets, so I think you're good.
yeah, well, that I've as for my sock puppet business, I have made one sock puppet. So as for most of my businesses, it's usually like a
You're
one
gonna start
move.
that one.
It's like I don't think that people having sock puppets for their YouTube videos is going to blow up anytime soon.
Who knows?
Maybe he will, and then I'll get custom. Like I had a business where I like did custom birthday messages with a sock puppet and it wrapped. That's how I got into the sock puppet making. And then
okay.
somebody was like, "Hey, I know those videos. Can you make me one for my YouTube channel?" And I'm like, "Sure, I can." But then I realized, oh no, this is my own creative thing. Like I'm creating what it looks like. Now, honestly, it's really just put it together. I mean, the truth is that we definitely could get AI to make the look of it, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's like the actual
Construct it.
construction. And it was
Yeah.
like, and then when I looked into it, it was like, oh, I have a friend who's like a professional. She charges like $800 for a puppet, like for a real puppet.
Oh yeah.
And because she's helped me with my puppet show that I have coming out in November, which is exciting. So
Wow.
yeah, I was gonna make it in my announcements, but I think I did it last week. But I have I did this puppet show with the Hip Hop Affinity Group for Children's Music Network, and they're actually
Okay.
going to feature the puppet show that I wrote, and then the music is for, and the puppets were made during that time. And at the same time, they're going to I'm sharing a slot with Sesame Street. So
Oh wow. Congratulations, man.
yeah, no, it's exciting. But you know, I don't know if you're like me. The moment I get praise for something, then my whole body shuts down and I don't want to do anything.
Oh, I gotta.
Well,
You probably get one too, didn't you?
yeah, but my daughter has my phone, I think.
Oh, okay.
So
Now you know where she is.
I was looking for it, but yeah, no, it's so funny because then I was like, oh, it took like, oh no, I was wrong. The worst part is I don't know where it is. Where is it?
Amber alert.
Oh, there it is. Oh man, thanks for the heads up. Now this one's the flash flood warning.
Oh, is that what that? Yeah.
Yeah.
As your listeners cannot hear, we are under a torrential downpour at the moment.
That's yeah. Well, I'm in an apartment, so which you know, just talking to you, actually, we'll find out next week if I have a new house. So
what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a news headline right there.
Yeah, it would be, but I will be far away from you because I'll be, you know, me and Lord Mulgrew live like 5 minutes from each other, and so, but soon I will not. I'll be. It's like a Bandera in 1604 area.
Oh, you're gonna lose out on Gino's sandwiches.
Oh yeah, no. I'll still come up here every once in a while, but yeah, no, I'll miss out on some Geno's. And and I mean, really, honestly, I think I like Geno's. I think the sandwiches, but I think just the customer service there is as good as the sandwich. So it's like, it's probably the one person, but I always feel like I'm a superstar every time I go there.
That's
like,
exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Well, you are a superstar.
No, I'm just a dude. Yeah, they do a great job. You walk in, and it's almost like that same vibe of walking into Cheers, and everyone says your name, and you're like, oh my gosh, they recognize me, and they actually seem sad that I haven't been here in a while.
Yeah. No, it's now. If you didn't know, if you don't live in San Antonio or where we live, there's a place called Gino's Deli, which is like a wag stop, right? Is that what it's called? It's just like a gas station, but it's not a gas station. You don't have gas, and they have like chips and drinks, but mainly they just serve sandwiches. It's like a little convenience store that serves the most delicious Philly cheesesteaks you're gonna get, and they're so nice and awesome. So, have you had their breakfast tacos?
I have not done anything. Every time I come in, I get the same thing every time.
What is it that you get?
I get the club. I get a club with jalapenos on it, and I can eat that thing in 2 minutes. And it's 14 inches of hoagie bun.
I get the Italian Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's a classic.
So that one's really good because it's a Philly cheesesteak, but then it has Italian stuff in it, like pepperoni and things like that. Yeah. And it is very good. But I don't think I've ever got the club, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm always getting some variation of a Philly cheesesteak.
Maybe next time I'm going to swap over. I'll jump over the tracks and get a Philly cheesesteak. So tell me about the breakfast taco. What's that about?
Supposedly they have a very delicious breakfast taco, but they don't open till 10. So the trick here is that I'm already dropped off my kid, and I've already eaten breakfast at this point.
Yeah.
So on the weekends, I'll have to go. But supposedly they make a delicious taco, which wouldn't shock me because they make delicious food.
Yeah.
And so, but they have every time I walk in, he's like, "We have great rough tacos," and I'm like,
Yeah, they're a
"Yeah,
cool crew over there. The owners are really characters, and I remember the first time I walked into Gino's Deli, and I think his name is Azim,
yep,
and he started talking to me, and he's a real character, and he's got all these ideas, and he was just like flowing with information. And I said, dude, I'm doing a podcast. Would you be interested to be on my podcast? And we could talk about successful business practices and customer service and all the things that I'm experiencing right here. I'd love to capture that on a podcast. And he's like, oh, no, 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 no. And he pumped the brakes real hard. And he said, I don't want to be on anything like that. This is my world right here. I'm going to stay right here.
that's so funny." He actually said the same thing to me. I see how it is.
At least it's not me.
Like, yeah. Well, it's like, yeah, no. I laugh because I ran into a dude that I'm not 100% sure if it was just his normal life, but he just makes tons of voices. Like I was standing by the dude from Police Academy. Um, and he had all the different voices, and he was just hamming it up. But I wasn't 100% sure if that was an act or if it was just autism just being awesome. In that it was just like he was just so fun to be around. And so I was like, if you want to be on my show, whatever's going on here, I want to be a part of it. 'Cause, like, whatever this is, it is very entertaining and fun.
Yeah.
And he obviously was playing up to the people. He was like, "Oh, you say I sound like Winslow." Oh, then he starts doing, because every time I was like scanning my things, he's making a scanning noise. And it was just funny. It was like, yeah, it was like, oh, this guy's just having a fun time, living his life. And so, but there's a chance that that's him as a person. Like, this is how he
It's not an
goes.
occupation or anything.
Yeah, no, he's just, that's what keeps him going. Like, I understand. I'm the
That's
person
cool.
that just does rapping all the time, so
Yeah.
it's fun. Anyways, we've definitely gone long today, mainly
Yeah,
because it's
sorry
me and you
about
hanging
that.
out. Oh no, it's fine. It's me and you hanging out. I don't mind. And anybody that wants to stay on for a long episode is going to stay on. So there are
Cool.
people watching us right now. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we
Oh,
get close?
yeah. I could talk forever about all sorts of things. So I'm going to say, again, thanks to you guys for hosting me here on the show. I love visiting you guys, and I love what you're doing. And there's an interesting creative uh, sort of power that you have that, again, I don't think AI is going to be able to replicate anytime soon. So um, keep on keeping strong.
Well, so today I'm going to actually make you no, see, last time I think you were on, you actually made your own song. I don't know if that was this time or the other
Oh
time.
boy,
I'm not going to replay that or anything. Don't
it
worry
is
about it.
painful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I considered making some YouTube shorts of it, and then I thought, I don't think that Pork wants to relive that if he doesn't have to. And I am fine with that. I think that anybody that goes through the back episodes and finds that's a present
It's a little
from me
gem.
to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's.
certainly.
But
Yeah.
we're not going to tell people about that amazing masterwork that is in our episodes.
Yeah.
There's no prep. You're not reading. It doesn't say that he's going to do a rap. You're just listening to the episode, and the next thing you know, you're getting a full like 5-minute rap
Bam.
song that he's
Yeah.
written for you.
Yep.
And so I'm just going to keep it as a hidden gem for the people that listen to all the episodes.
Thanks. Yeah.
And
That's the reward.
probably doesn't make you feel any better, but I think at least 66 people have watched that episode.
I have seen 66 customers decline over at Night Watch Games. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a correlation.
didn't work out the way you expected it.
No.
And
It's
so
not my talent.
it was fun. Oh, and that's I love everything about you. So I'm like, even if I have no opinions on it, because I'm just like, oh, you're my friend. I'm just gonna let you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Probably don't think it through as it was happening. And I was like, oh, but I was like, it was fun. And I mean,
Yeah, it was fun.
I've said so many silly things when I do this. It's fun. But what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna make a song about whatever you want me to do. We do what we talked about, or it can be whatever you want. But we actually have some beats I'm gonna play and
Oh, okay.
make up an actual song for you. So what's my song going to be about today?
Okay. It is going to be. Ooh. I mean, I could get really esoteric with this.
Do it.
All right. So Gauntlets of Glory as a board game Um, and ooh, and well, we talked about AI a lot, so it seems like that's an obvious one.
All right.
So whatever side of the coin you want to throw with AI, but then you got
Now,
to
do you want
weave
this to
in.
be a love story? Do you want this to be a ballad situation? Do you want it to be like a party jam? What do you want it to be?
The idea of a ballad sounds really enticing.
All right, let's see. I just did this with another one, so I have to make sure I don't use that one. I think it was this one. Do you hear that?
Yeah, loud and clear.
This is my moment. This is my day. What am I doing if I'm feeling the words I say? It was all together. I'm getting it go. It's my Gauntlets of Glory. I'm putting the arena, bro. I'm not really ready if I'm feeling I'm steady, but now I get it gone time, and I'm waiting for it they're ready, and then I'm tripping, going through. I see him looking at me, thinking he's gonna give me dude. I'm not really ready, only if I can't go. I'm out of my mind and in my soul. And then I look into their eyes, I'm like, yo, I think I'm in love with you, AI computer, bro. I'm just saying I never really get it. If I understand my dream is something else, and then I'm extratastic when I truly and I go. But I sit it because I'm thinking what I know. Am I in love with the board game? I might be sitting there playing so many days by myself, G. I was thinking I could play 4 players if I'm just pretending to be me, whatever. And I'm having a great time sitting here and I'll go. But now I'm in love with the video game, bro. I mean, a tabletop. I messed up. I never see a lot. Here we go again. I know that I lied. You're my gauntlets of glory. I'm in love with you and the story. And every day I play a little game. I roll the dice and then my fate it changed. I said, you're my gauntlets of glory. I am in love with this dice story. Every little way that I never say. And then I gotta see as the dice roll change. It's so many times when I'm sitting here trying to fill it all. I get it gone when I'm feeling having a bad day, bro. I just get it out, set it up, and then I go. Grab my dice and then I roll. I'm feeling love and emotional state. I never see what I'm doing and I'm running it great. And maybe I might even go over the night watch games and hang out with Paraic and do it today. And hey, and play the game. And obviously I will win because I'm in love with it, with everything that I do, man. I never even seen that it ever go. But my dream was the power and my life was the soul. I said, you're my gauntlets of glory. And I love you. This is our whole story. And sometimes I still can't be. I roll that dice and it changes my history. Yeah. You're my gauntlets of glory. I am in love with our love story. Rolling the dice, chopping your head off right. And I don't even know what I'm doing. That's right.
Yes.
Oh. That beat was way cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Gauntlets of Glory. That's our story.
The
That's
love
a
song.
line.
Yeah. I started with one thing and I was like, I don't know if I really want to be in the AI love story. I should probably change this up.
Yeah.
The problem with freestyling is that sometimes you say things you're like, oh, no, I probably shouldn't have said that. I should probably move on.
Just gonna go. So yeah.
But then I was like, oh, that's fun. I'll just be in love with it and see how it goes. So
Yeah.
was that entertaining?
That was super entertaining. Very cool. I think your freestyle is a lot like my photoshopping in that you don't know what the end result is and you're generating it half a second before your audience hears it or sees it. And so you're along with the ride with the rest of us. It's just coming out of your mouth versus anybody else's. So
yeah, I only know so much before it comes. Like, and this was a problem when I was younger. No, I haven't done a banner all day, so let me do this real quick. Yeah, that was our rap time. I hope you had a great time with the rap time. That was fun. But it's but yeah, no, when I was younger, I was opening for gospel bands, and I definitely got a talking to every once in a while because once I said like everybody take off your pants or something, I didn't mean to say that. It just happened. And there was this one time where like I was using this beat called God or something, G good, and they would say good over and over again, and I ended up saying I'm God,
Oh,
which was bad because I was at like a church, and
yeah.
so they like blacklisted me for a while where I couldn't go, and I was like, I didn't even know I said that. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that happened. That was not. I am definitely not God. That's not my thing.
Do you
It's
ever
not.
get frozen? Like the words just stop?
No,
It
not when
just
I'm.
goes, huh?
Oh, like my
Oh,
microphone.
catastrophic.
Oh man. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, here it goes. Sorry,
The
everybody.
earthquake.
Live show. Live show. This is what happens when you do live shows. Live accidents. Um, but no, not normally because I'm in front of people, right? So like, now there will be times where like if I get a word and it's just I can't think anything, but you don't have a choice in the matter. People are responding to you live, so you just do something else. It's the same idea when I used to do like freestyle battles, and they'd destroy me, and I know it, and I couldn't think of anything else good. So then I would just go straight to poop, 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 see if I can get that cheap laugh, and then maybe catch up and do something else. But I would literally just go to something. But because I'm an automatic entertainer person, no, I don't think I get frozen up. Now writing I can get frozen up like if I'm by myself, but if I'm in front of people, no, this just happens. Like this is just
Yeah.
that's just me. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to finish the sentence. It might not make any sense,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make it happen. And then
Cool.
somebody
Cool.
later will
Cool.
be like, "You sounded weird," and I was like, "I'm sorry." I've definitely had bad freestyle raps before. So.
Yeah, and some brilliant ones, I'm sure. You can't have the brilliant without the bad.
Oh, there have been times where I'm like sitting there and somebody's like, "That's the most beautiful thing I ever heard," and I'll be like it's funny. Like even I think even parts of what we just did, there were parts of it where like, "Oh, that's really nice. Like that's a really cool
Yeah. Yeah.
cool thing. Like you thought it through." I did not think it through. I just
Do you
said
ever
things.
grab those kind of things and stick them in a repertoire of things that you then reference later? So, like your go-to lines?
Sure. No, I don't. I don't have. So that's a trick. I really try to be off the top all time.
Wow.
So I try not to use go-to lines. But say like I did do a freestyle or something that I liked the line, then I might use it for another song that I'm writing,
Hmm.
or um or that kind of thing. But not in most situations. Now, when I write songs, a lot of the time, I'll just freestyle like 20 times and then grab the stuff I liked from the freestyles and keep on going. But in real life, no, I really have a blank. Like I think I was telling you this earlier. I definitely have a terrible memory when it comes to just things I do really quickly.
Yeah.
Um, and which has really been good for me relationship wise because I literally don't get that mad at people because they just don't remember what they did wrong to me.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
but in general, it's like it's the same idea with rapping, and I do try to have like a recorder with me. So like if I'm killing, like if I do an awesome freestyle, then I know I can do another one. So I'll try to record it after the second time.
Yeah.
But you never know how it's gonna go
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
stuff, and
And
it's
that's the cool part of it. It's a story that you don't know the ending to.
no.
Yeah. Right
So
on.
very fun. But anyways, thank you so much for being on the
Yeah.
show. I really appreciate it. Let me do my quick ads. Make sure that if you're looking for a new website, go over to nomadweb.design. That would be your awesome situation. They did our website. And if you're into a movie podcast, go to check out I Screen, You Scream for movies. And that's I and then you as for you. And it's really easy to find. They're on everywhere on all the places that are things, TikTok and Instagram. I don't think he's on Instagram anymore actually, but everywhere there's a podcast, they have tons of episodes, and I'll be on their show I think next week. So talking about Transformers. So if you enjoy listening to my dulcet tones, then you will enjoy that. And I said also I think I did their intro music. So if you just like listening to me rap, you probably go listen to their intro song that I wrote for them or for him and there you go. If you're, please come back next week. We have an amazing show. I do. It's gonna be good. It's a really good one. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. And that is it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next Monday at 5 p.m. CST. If you're listening to the podcast, I'll probably be up on Tuesday. I can't do it that fast, but please check it out. And if you'd like to be on the show, please let me know. Go to Flow4u, the number 4, the letter U, .com. And send me a message and go, Scout, I want to be on the show. I want to hang out with you. I want to be your best friend. Cool. I have a 1 or 2 slots available still for best friends. So let me know. And that's it. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to pitch or tell people about before we leave?
Again, yeah, I just want to send out that invite to come by Night Watch Games. We're a local gaming store in San Antonio. We service New Braunfels, and some people come down from Austin as well. We're definitely worth the trip. And we have a sister store next door called The Sanctuary, where we sell medieval and Renaissance garb, weapons, and armor. So if you're into that kind of culture, swing by there. And as we talked about during the show, we have our scullery up. So if you're hungry, we have lunch and dinner options that are really tasty and a really cool community for you to hang out with. So just there's my invite.
That's awesome. And yes, as a person that's had the food, I've gone to all the things that you just mentioned, and all the things are awesome. Oh, speaking of, how's the sanctuary doing? Is it good?
It's doing good. Yeah, it's sort of a seasonal store. You know, when the fairs around town spin up, the sanctuary becomes a real hotspot of people coming in. But we found an interesting trend, and that is weddings. People are getting married in medieval and Renaissance traditions, and so they have their whole guest party. You know, want to get decked out in outfits. So a place like the sanctuary becomes really vital because we help you find your outfit and get you fitted, and we have a dressing room and all that kind of stuff. So you walk away thinking that you're the hero of the wedding.
That's amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
there was a thing I just learned about in the last month and a half, and I think you'll be entertained. Have you heard of Gothic Baby?
Uh-uh.
Do you know wrestling at all? Like
Old school, like
like
the
do you
Eric.
know do you know the Hardy Boys are?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So Matt Hardy, his daughter has her own Instagram called or his wife has an Instagram, and one of the bits that she does is Gothic Baby, where their baby has like the sick Gothic room that she lives in. And it's just because that's actually how her style choices, but she has lots of different colored rooms. But so as a thing, just to get the haters that were like, oh well, your daughter lives in darkness, she made a video where she just like her baby was actually a Gothic baby, and like she just is sad all the time and doesn't want to play. It's so great, and it's you would be very entertained by it. As
Gothic
somebody,
baby.
just look up Gothic Baby on TikTok or all the shorts places, YouTube.
I'll go check that out. Speaking of Gothic, we just did a sale, which is currently on for all our Gothic line, is 20% off.
Yeah.
All the stuff that we get from Lithuania, which is
well, you should talk to the Gothic Baby, see if you can get a commerul.
Try that, yeah. I'll collab for days.
Next time AEW comes to San Antonio, you know what store they need to visit.
So, right on. Yeah.
Like make sure Gothic Baby comes by this. That'd be nice. That'd be a cool picture of Gothic Baby at the sanctuary.
Big helmet on or something.
Oh, I'm not even playing. You're gonna love that I told you about it.
Okay, so, cool.
Cool. I randomly already follow her stuff, so I had already known. And then one day I was just like, "Oh, that's hilarious!" Oh, because what happens? It went. Somebody in the UK was like, "This is terrible. Why are we inspiring kids to? Why is this person forcing the Gothic life on their kid?" And they don't understand that she's just joking with people. Like her kid doesn't live that Gothic life. You know what I'm saying? It's a baby. And it's like she spends like, a few hours making the thing, and then the baby lives the regular life.
Yeah.
But it's like, it went crazy, like to the point that her viral thing was already more viral, like to the point that people call Matt Hardy Gothic Baby's dad and not Matt Hardy. It was like, wow, that's crazy. Anyways, awesome. But yeah, bye everybody. Bye. Stay online for a few seconds, but I hope you have a great night and see you next week. Y'all are amazing. And yes, go check out all those cool things here in San Antonio and go hang out with Lord Mulgrew and have a good time. Play that Gauntlet. Maybe I'll be there and you'll be like, both of y'all are here. I'm gonna play Gauntlets of Glory with you. How many players is the game?
You can scale it up to a huge battle royale. One of the things I'm going to do is host a game where 12 players are playing at one time.
That's fun. Now I was thinking this, could you actually play just, on your own and just have a bunch of characters? Because I imagine it would work. Mm-hmm. I bet it worked because of the dice roll purposes.
Yep.
So because
it wouldn't a solo version, a campaign version, and then the antagonistic version.
Oh, that makes, because doesn't sound like it would be very fun if you do a royale game by yourself. But now I understand that you can pull that off. So compared to like playing Fortnite,
you're always the winner. How about that?
Yeah, I'm always awesome. But all right, bye guys. Have a great night. This is an extra large episode. I hope you have a good time. I hope the rap was cool. I hope you had a fun time hanging out with me and the awesome man. See y'all later, guys. And let me play the outro. Stay on the phone. I'll touch you in a few seconds here once we're done, but here we go.
Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do.